Assalamu alaikum dear students. My name is Wasim Ahmed and I am teaching you physics for grade 9. This is lecture number 1 for 7th week of second term. As you know, this is unit number 3 titled as Dynamics. And in this regard, today we are going to talk about force and momentum. So dear students, there is a close relationship between force and momentum. So how to highlight it? When a force acts on a body, it produces an acceleration in the body and will be equal to the rate of change of momentum of the body. It is very much highlighted by this equation. As you see here, force is equal to Pf minus Pi, mean change in momentum, and this change is divided by time, mean rate of change of momentum. So this is a new definition for force. Earlier you are familiar with this equation, mean force is equal to ma. Now we are going to establish and make a connection between these two apparently dissimilar mathematical forms. Dear students, just focus on this statement. Consider a body of mass m moving with initial velocity vi. Let a force F acts on the body which produces an acceleration A in it. This changes the velocity of the body. Let its initial velocity after time t becomes Vf. If Pi, here I am going to write Pi is the initial momentum of the body, and you know momentum is equal to product of mass and velocity, mvi. And after the application of force, its momentum becomes Pf, and it is going to be mvf. So what's the change in momentum? We just make the subtraction Pf minus Pi equals mvf minus mvi. And now what is the rate of change of momentum? We have to divide this expression by time. So Pf minus Pi divided by t on left hand side, and same goes for right hand side, mvf minus mvi divided by t. Now dear students, on left hand side we are having Pf minus Pi by t, and on right hand side let's take the m because it's a common factor in numerator. So Pf minus Vi divided by t, because we have taken m as common. Now just focus the expression which is inside the parenthesis, Vf minus Vi by t. And what is it, dear students? Can you recall? It's the rate of change of velocity. And can you guess what is it? It is the acceleration. So we can write it as ma, because acceleration is the rate of change of velocity. So, and you know ma is what? The force. So here we have established that the force is having a new mathematical form, mean rate of change of momentum. Let me write here, left hand side. So now come to again on definition. When a force acts on a body, it produces an acceleration in the body and will be equal to the rate of change of momentum of the body. So dear students, here we have established the relationship between force and momentum. Hopefully you get it. Now let's move on. Now dear students, let me tell about a law of conservation of momentum. What is it? How to state this conservation of momentum? The momentum of an isolated system of two or more than two interacting bodies remains constant. Here, dear friends, you are noticing a new term, isolated system. What is it? An isolated system is a group of interacting bodies on which no external force is acting. Is it clear to you? Mean it is basically an hypothetical system, or you can say an imaginary system, or a system which is we take as granted that a system is called an isolated system if there are no external forces impressed upon the given system. Okay, dear students? Now we are going to highlight this law of conservation of momentum by the following illustrations. So let's move on. Consider an isolated system of two spheres of masses m1 and m2 as shown in figure 3.14a. Here, dear students, we are observing that there are two balls or metallic balls or whatever these spheres of masses m1 and m2. So they are moving in a straight line with initial velocities u1 and u2, okay, respectively, such that u1 is greater than u2. So what is the consequence of this condition? m1 would be colliding with m2 after some time. So sphere of mass m1 approaches the sphere of mass m2 as they move. So it is very much clear from this A part of figure 3.14. Now, what's the initial momentum? Initial momentum of mass m1 is m1u1. Okay, dear students? And initial momentum of mass m2 is m2u2. And what is the total momentum? Total initial momentum of the system before collision is equal to m1 u1 plus m2 u2. So dear students, it is the total initial momentum of these interacting bodies m1 and m2 shown by this A part of the figure 3.1. Okay, now after some time mass m1 hits m2 with some force, because we have put the condition that the speed of m1 is more than speed of m2. So according to Newton's third law of motion, m2 exerts an equal and opposite reaction force on m1. Let their velocities become v1 and v2 respectively after collision. Then final momentum of mass m1 is m1 v1 and final momentum of mass m2 is m2 v2 as shown by this C part of figure 3.14. Okay, dear students? So A part highlights the condition before collision, and this B part is actually the moment when these two bodies are about to collide. Okay, and after collision their masses remain same but their velocities do change. Okay, and it is highlighted by this C part. So what is the total momentum of total final momentum of the system after collision? m1 v1 plus m2 v2. So what is the requirement of conservation of momentum? So according to law of conservation of momentum, total momentum of the system before collision must equal to the total final momentum of the system after collision. Now plugging the mathematical forms, what was the total initial momentum of the system before collision? m1 u1 plus m2 u2. And what is the final momentum of the system after collision? m1 v1 plus m2 v2. And as these two are equal, so it is the condition for law of conservation of momentum. And you have observed that we have developed the basic understanding of law of conservation of momentum by assuming simple two interacting spheres, and finally we got this mathematical form which highlights the law of conservation of momentum. We would be going to highlight this law of conservation of momentum by another very simple example. So let's start. Consider a system of gun and a bullet. Before firing the gun, both the gun and the bullet are at rest. So that total momentum of the system is zero because nothing is moved. And you know what's the momentum? Product of mass and velocity. As both gun and bullet before firing were at rest, that's why the total momentum is zero. Now, what's the next step? As gun is fired, bullet shoots out of the gun and acquires momentum because now it's moving. To conserve the momentum of the system, the gun recoils. According to law of conservation of momentum, the total momentum of the gun and the bullet will also be zero after the gun is fired, because it is the demand of the law of conservation of momentum that momentum before an event should be equal to the momentum after an incident. So let's have its mathematical form. So let m be the mass, small m be the mass of the bullet, and small lowercase b be the velocity on firing the gun. Capital M uppercase M be the mass of the gun, and uppercase V be the velocity with which it recoils. Thus the total momentum of the gun and the bullet after gun is fired will be. Here you notice that total momentum before firing is zero because both were at rest. Now total momentum of the gun and the bullet after gun is fired is the sum of, this is the momentum of the gun which recoils, and this is the momentum of the bullet which is shoots out. So according to law of conservation of momentum, total momentum of the gun and the bullet after gun is fired should be equal to total momentum of the gun and the bullet before the gun is fired. So we get what is the total momentum before firing? Zero. And what's the total momentum after firing? Sum of capital M capital V plus small m small. Now rearranging this equation, we take this mv to the other side, okay, and now finally capital V, which is the velocity of recoil of the gun, is equal to minus the ratio of m small m mean mass of bullet to mass of gun into V mean velocity of bullet. So this is the consequence of the law of conservation of momentum on this bullet and gun example. So dear students, let's have recap what we did in today's discussion. Actually, we have discussed two main topics. Number one, we have established a relationship between force and momentum. Okay, and what is the mathematical form of that? So what's the connection between force and momentum? Force is equal to Pf minus Pi divided by T. So how to define it? Force equals rate of change of momentum. So how to formally define it? When a force acts on a body, it produces an acceleration in the body and will be equal to the rate of change of momentum of the body. It is very much clear from this mathematical form. And the second topic, which was the focus of today's discussion, is law of conservation of momentum. And how to define it? The momentum of an isolated system of two or more than two interacting bodies remains constant. And what is the mathematical form? In case of two interacting spheres, m1 u1 plus m2 u2, this was the total initial momentum of the two moving interacting bodies before collision, and it is equal to the m1 v1 plus m2 v2, mean total final momentum of these two moving interacting bodies after collision. So these two are equal, mean law of conservation of momentum. So dear students, hopefully you get something informative and useful out of these discussions, and hopefully you understand it. So see you next time with second lecture of this 7 week. So take care of yourself and see you. Take goodbye.